Hello there, and welcome to Club Apple. This is a brand new show, and this is a brand new format as well. So, welcome to the show, and welcome to this new experiment I'm trying called Club Apple. So, let's, in this monologue kind of segment, opening up and kicking off Club Apple, I'm going to explain what this format is, some background of me in the Apple universe as far as podcasting, and why I'm actually getting back into Apple podcasting is something I want to continue doing or pick up doing, something I stopped doing for a while now, and something I want to do once more. So let's get into it. The format itself, this is something that I'm really excited about, really passionate about what I came up with for. And this format, it's a monthly format. So every month, there's going to be a new audio show available to listen to. And it's going to be a show that is a month long worth of audio. What I mean by that. So throughout the month, I'm going to be doing Google Hangouts over YouTube Live of different segments. These segments will vary in length from this segment that I'm doing monologue now to longer form segments with guests to shorter form interviews. The plan is to have regulars on this show to have monologue to have interviews with developers, accessory makers, and with different people in the Apple universe, whether it's just users, whether it's creators of products around this universe of Apple, whatever it is, it's going to be a show that becomes a club. It's going to be this format that is very open ended to become, in all senses of the word, a club where people can come to this show, they can hang out with me and talk Apple. That is the format. And we're going to have lots of different segments each and every month with different people, with different perspectives, and different topics that will widely vary from things like iCloud Drive. What's the deal with that in iOS 8? To iPhone 6 Plus thoughts and Mac stuff. It just a variety of things. You know, how we're using Final Cut Pro with our 6 Pluses using slow motion mode and all sorts of different things. And that's the format. So this will enable both really the avid people to watch the video segments either live or as they come out throughout the month. And then if you're one of the audio people that just like the audio format, you'll get a nicely edited version of the show with all these segments that will comprise of a nicely month-long discussions all in the like October edition of Club Apple. And I'm going to start having voicemail segments as the show progresses, and it's going to be a club in all sense of the word, more so than any of the other shows I have so far. The other shows, they are clubs, but this will be the most open club and format that I've ever tried. And the monthly format I'm really liking because I love to record and I love to do different things. But once a month is a good timeline for getting a show out, and doing these shorter segments I think will be really great. So that is the format. That is that. The why, right? The why. So I have done many Apple podcasts. And the reason I started podcasting initially was because I was really passionate about the iPad. That was my first podcast, iPad Possibilities. And you could hear it in those shows. And those shows are so much fun to listen to because I had passion. I had purpose in doing what I was doing. It was a brand new ecosystem of the iPad, and that show was all about exploring its possibilities, its potential. It's what can you do with this huge slab that has computer in it? What can you do with this? And that was that show. And I loved doing that show. Eventually that show ended and I went on to do other Apple podcasts. But this show is back. It's new and available now and will be available because I want to start talking about Apple again because the things they are doing at Apple are getting me excited and passionate about them. So iPad Possibilities began because I was passionate about the iPad and its potential and what it could do. This was early on. I started that January 2010. So we're now in a place with Apple that is getting exciting. We're getting new form factors of phones, things like this giant 6 Plus. This is just a case, but I'll be getting one shortly. We're getting things like the Apple Watch. We're getting things like potentially bigger iPads next year, you know, a 12-inch iPad if that ever comes to fruition. We're getting to a point where things are getting exciting with Apple. And we're getting to a point in my life where I'm able to actually start to use this stuff and have a home set up in a stable apartment environment where I can use things like the Philips Hue light bulbs and all this home connected things, where I'm going to be able to really enjoy the Apple ecosystem much more. Apple TV is a huge part of my life now. So we're in this spot now where I'm starting to get really excited about what Apple's doing, and no podcast works without passion behind it. And that is the why to this podcast. This is going to be a show that I'm starting off because I'm once again really excited by what Apple is doing in this space. So for those that don't know my background podcasting, it all started back with iPad Possibilities. I ran that show from January 2010 to November 2011. Not quite 2 years, but 224 episodes in that time frame. I did simultaneous screencasts, kind of showing some different apps at some point in there. And that show is still available on iTunes. And the total stats, I was just looking at that, kind of blew me away. Over its lifetime, 433,000 downloads with 626 downloaded last month. So some people are still downloading that show. Which is really encouraging that people are still downloading that. That show started off with just me talking into like, 10 minutes on the iPad as a phone, the iPad as a notebook, an iPad as whatever it is. So it started out with like, what if the iPad could be this? And then it evolved into a longer form show with John Finnan and a couple other co-hosts throughout the show's life. And I have so much fun memories of that show. So that's where it all kicked off, and that's where I got my start into podcasting. And I ended in November 2011. And that time, a month before that, I actually started a different Apple podcast called I Wake Daily. So by that time in my life, I was employed by appadvice.com. I had met with some of the folks that run that site at Macworld, where I had such a good time that year doing interviews with pretty much everyone at the show. And I had started iWake back in October 2011. And I run that as a daily show from October 2011 to April 2012. Didn't miss a beat during that time pretty much, except for the very end. But it was a daily show, and I did shows throughout the holidays even, and that was such a fun show to produce. A lot of work doing a daily news show, about 10 minutes, 20 minutes in length. That was a lot of fun. I even did an I Wake Again as a paid kind of subscription show. So I did that run from October 2011 to October 2012, April 2012, sorry. So a good chunk there. And that ended basically because life interrupted, right? I was no longer employed by App Advice by the end of that because of some weird miscommunication things, and ended up in Hawaii, of all places, and just did not have the time to do an Apple show, nor did I have any income to buy any Apple products that were new. I was using the stuff I had, but no income to actually do anything and buy new stuff and be involved in the way I once was, if that makes any sense. So I basically did Apple podcasts from 2010 all the way through April 2012. So a good two-year run, 2.5-year run almost. And I really miss that now that I'm doing gaming podcasts. I got back into podcasting through gaming and the wonderful technology of Google Hangouts that does easy recording, things like that. During that time, I was also, regular caller on macOS Ken Live. I was even on an episode of Mac Break Weekly. When the iPhone 4S was announced, I was actually in studio for that. And I continue on with NAMP and am a guest on that show occasionally. But I wanted to get back into podcasting. So I'm back, and this is Club Apple. This is a new format. Welcome to Club Apple. If you ever want to be a guest on this show, as I said, this is a very open format. We don't have any set recording times, no set segments as far as what's going on each month. Each month, I'm going to have some regulars, I'm going to have some new people, I'm going to have some developers, and it's exciting. So if you want to be on this show, let me know. Leave messages in this YouTube video. There will be an email account set up at some point soon. And I guess I should leave this segment by asking you guys, the video viewers, the people that will get this before the audio version goes out, artwork for the show. I've got 2 versions I've created. Leave a comment in the YouTube here, the YouTube thread, which version you like better. I've got a silver version that I've tweeted this out, but a silver version. I'm not sure how well this will come up in the feed here. I'll probably leave a link in some sort of notes on the YouTube channel. And then I've got the retro version here that enables me to have the world. But I will definitely be leaving those as links in the different in the description there. So let me know what you think as far as artwork. I'm not really decided yet. But with that said, thanks for watching or listening to this introductory segment. And stay tuned for segment 2 with, I'm not sure who yet, but I've got a lot of ideas for the October edition. And this kicks off Club Apple. Thanks for watching or listening. And stay tuned for segment 2. Bye-bye.